one emotion that dictates our choices, and we operate like this, it ain't gonna hurt me. So I'm gonna make choices so that something doesn't hurt me. Well, here's the problem. Fear leads to anxiety, because anxiety is worrying about things that are out of your control. Am I going to get hurt? Am I going to get left out? Am I going to get pushed around? Is this going to happen again? Well, I'm going to operate out of fear, and that leads to anxiety. Raise your hand if you ever dealt with some anxiety. It should be every person in this room. Some of us deal with it more than others. But listen, you know what's actually cool? You can control your anxiety. You can control it. You're like, no, I can't. It's out of control. Have you seen my brain lately? No, but I know how your brain works. Listen, when something happens, your brain has a response. It has to respond somehow. Watch. Your brain has to respond when something happens or someone says something to you. The first thing that goes off is your emotions. So if your emotion is fear, it goes boom. And it releases this thing called cortisol. Everybody say cortisol. Cortisol. We're getting scientific, guys. Cortisol is a hormone that goes into your bloodstream and starts affecting your action. Cortisol. You wonder why you keep feeling anxious over and over. Why do I keep feeling anxious? Because you got so much cortisol pumping through your veins. How do you reduce the cortisol? Let me tell you right now, there's two things. When you face your fears, your cortisol goes down. When you face your fears, your cortisol level starts to drop. That's the first way. When you face it. Is it scary? Of course. Does it work? Yes. Because 98% of the things that we fear and that we have anxiety about, 92. 8% of them actually will happen. 92% of the things that we worry about and have anxiety about will never actually happen. So you're spending so much time worrying about things that will never happen. 8% of the time it's real. You should be worried. Watch this. Facing your fears. Remove yourself from the situation. Play it out. All right, what's the worst that can happen? Let me just think about it. Because the more you run from the things you're scared of, the bigger they get. It's crazy. But when you stop and turn around and face it, that's when it begins to shrink. And it's the only way. The other way to reduce your cortisol that's going through your veins, you're feeling stressed out, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling angry, go for a walk. You're like, Mike, that sounds stupid. But it works. It sounds stupid, but it works. Go for a walk. 15 minutes, leave your phone down and just go for a little walk outside. You're like, oh, I'm about to snap. I'm just going to go for a little walk. Now, you can tell me it's stupid until you try it and you're like, oh my God, he was right. Because it's science. It's not just me. It's real. Raise your hand, you'd like to have less anxiety. Me too. So we can either say it or we can do something about it. I'm telling you two things to do right now. Face it by playing it out and saying, what's the worst that can happen? The second, go for a walk. Just chill out your mind. It's crazy what our choices and voices can do. When you think about the kind of reputation you have, you're in 8th grade, the kind of reputation you have around here. Because there are two things people think about you when you walk out of a room. Look. Or let's say when you walk into a room. You walk into a room, there's two things people feel. Either they feel like this, oh God, he's here. Oh my God, he's here. She's here. Oh, great. Or they think, yo, she's here. Yo, he's here. People are either excited or depressed when you walk into a room. Did you know that you can control that? You can control that. When you think about the kind of voice you are, the kind of choices you've been making, are you a DAP kind of person? Dependable, ambitious, positive? Yo, I like when they're here because they're always so encouraging toward me. They might not say that, but that's what you're feeling. I like when they're here. They're generous. I like what they're here. They're positive. They ain't just complaining all the time. I like when they're here. They're dependable.